show I went to last night in Lowell, Massachusetts, and that was the final date of the tour with Slayer, Gojira, and Forearm. Now, if you guys saw my rant on not on Jeff Hanneman, obviously, but I did do a video of him, obviously. It was after he died. It was about Kerry King and the whole Slayer situation with the lineup. After last night, seeing Slayer with the new lineup with Tom Araya, Kerry King, Gary Holt, and rejoined drummer Paul Bostaff, I'm not going to lie, I take back every bad thing I've said about the lineup, really. After last night, seeing Slayer was just intense. It was easily one of the best shows I've been to all year, and Slayer exceeded my expectations with the new lineup, to be quite honest with you. This was actually my first time seeing them without Dave Lombardo, which felt kind of weird considering I'm so much more used to seeing them when Lombardo was just pounding on the drums, considering he's my favorite drummer of all time, and always will be. But let's jump right into the review. The first band that came on, actually before I get there, Matt's Concerts was actually giving away a shit ton of tickets for the Slayer show because they couldn't sell any. When it got to that, I won 4 tickets through a couple of contests that they held, and I originally got seats for those 4 tickets, but they I had some friends tell me that you can just switch them out for general admission floor tickets, and I did that, and I got floor tickets, which was awesome. I gave a few to some friends, and it was awesome. The first band that came on was Australian thrash metal band Forearm. This was actually my second time seeing them live. I saw them live, I think it might have been their first US tour ever, back in February, when they opened for Testament, Overkill, and Flotsam and Jetsam. Now, when I first saw them, I wasn't the biggest fan. I thought they were okay, but they weren't as impressive the first time I saw them. I saw them last night with Slayer, and honestly, they did impress me a little more. I think they were definitely better than when they opened for Testament. I really think so. I probably will start getting into them a little more now that I'm kind of familiar with the band now. They're a really tight live band, I'm not going to lie about that. Their drummer, in particular, is ridiculously tight. Everything, I mean, the band is just really good. I think that's one of the bands from Australia that I actually really enjoy nowadays. But yeah, I'll start getting into them and getting a little more familiar with the band because I thought they kicked ass last night. After that, we had the greatest thing to ever come out of France, Gojira. This was also my second time seeing them live, and the last time I saw them live was actually the night before I saw Forearm with Testament, and when Gojira headlined the Palladium back in February with Devin Townsend and the Atlas Moth, and they were just as fucking good. I mean, it wasn't as good as the first time considering that they were headlining, but they were still as good. I mean, Gojira played a blistering fucking short set. I mean, they opened with Explosia, which is awesome. Hold on, I got the set list right here, I think. I think this is the set list. I got the set list up. And it's taking forever to load. And, yeah. Okay, here's the set list for Gojira was pretty awesome for their for a short set. They played about 9 songs. Played songs such as Explosia, The Axe, Backbone, which was awesome. The Heaviest Matter of the Universe, which I went all out in the pit. They played Love, which was awesome. Flying Whales, L'Enfant Sauvage, Toxic Garbage Island, which is my favorite Gojira song ever, and close with Vacuity. Gojira was just as tight live then as I saw them when they headlined. They still prove to be one of my favorite live bands to date, hands down. But yeah, they were really good. Fucking Mario, I can't stop watching that guy play. As a drummer myself, I envy that guy's skill more than life itself. It's insane how good he is on drums. And my friend Nick at the show, he actually caught one of his sticks, and I'm jealous. Yeah, they were really fucking good. If you guys ever get a chance to see Gojira, go fucking see them. And then, of course, we get to the headliner, Slayer. Now, this was my first time seeing them since last year's Mayhem Festival, which was the last time I saw Dave Lombardo perform with them. And honestly, like I said earlier in the video, Slayer exceeded my expectations with the new lineup, and it was absolutely awesome. I remember the 2 times I saw them on Mayhem Fest, both Mayhem Fest they were on, they opened with Disciple off of God Hates Us All. And then the last time I saw them play at the Songus Arena, back in 2010 with Megadeth on the American Carnage tour, they opened with World Painted Blood. And that was when they played the entire Seasons in the Abyss album. And that was also the last time I ever saw the original lineup, and the last time I ever saw Jeff Hanneman perform in person. And that's still one of my favorite shows to date, out of all of them. But yeah, the set list they had on this tour was absolutely bonkers. I mean, honestly, out of all the times I've seen Slayer live, this was easily the best set list I've ever seen them put on, hands down. Best Slayer show set list wise. I mean, I could tell you the set list right now. Looking at it, they open with Hell Awaits, which is perfect. The Antichrist, Necrophiliac, Mandatory Suicide, Captor of Sin off the Haunting of the Chapel EP, which I would expect them to play Chemical Warfare, but Captor of Sin's awesome. War Ensemble, Post Mortem, which I finally got to see live, and they also did the Altar of Sacrifice, Jesus Saves transition. They did those 2 in a row. At Dawn They Sleep off of Hell Awaits, Die by the Sword, Spirit in Black, Hallowed Point, Seasons in the Abyss, and since it's kind of not surprising they did this, but since Gary Holt's in the band, they covered Strike of the Beast by Exodus, and it was awesome. And it's kind of also not a surprise considering that Paul Bostaph has also played in Exodus. He played on the Shovel-Headed Kill Machine. I can never say that. I can never remember that album title, but it's that album, which I think was released in 2004. And then the last 4 songs, the last few songs after that were Dead Skin Mask, which is one of my favorite Slayer songs, Raining Blood, which was awesome, and then after that they transitioned right into Black Magic, which is a song I've been dying to see Slayer play live, because I've never seen them play it live in person. And then after that they did their 2-song encore, and they actually brought the Jeff Hanneman tribute backdrop in, and it kind of looks like the Heineken beer logo with Hanneman written across in the middle, and then on the top says Angel of Death, and the bottom says Still Raining. And it was a little bit touching at some points at the end of the show. I mean, they close with South of Heaven and of course Angel of Death. And I find this really odd because I've seen them twice. I've seen them 4 times, but in 2 different venues. I saw them on both Mayhem Fest they played at the Comcast Center, and they closed with Raining Blood each time they played there. Both times I've seen them at the Songus Arena, they closed with Angel of Death, which is kind of weird. But yeah, their set list was godly. I mean, easily the best Slayer set list ever. There's no way they could ever top that, unless they switched out a song or 2, but who knows. Like I said, Slayer was very fucking tight even with the new lineup. Paul Bostaph I have to give major props to. He performed better than I expected, because I remember like before he was out of Slayer, like his double bass was kind of sloppy. His double bass was actually pretty good on this in this performance in particular. His drums sounded amazing. I mean Dave Lombardo's drums always sounded amazing, but honestly I'd have to say Paul Bostaph's actually sounded better. I think it might have been just the drum kit he had. The Yamaha kit was a really good sounding drums. Like everything was crisp and you could hear everything perfectly. It was the perfect perfect drum sound live, easily. Kerry King and Gary Holt are a damn good guitar duo. I'm not going to lie about that. And Tom Araya, his voice is just absolutely amazing now. And he's also a really class act. I mean, he's a very respectable man to everybody. He acted very proper on stage, which is kind of cool. And his voice these days has just gotten better since, I mean, he's not headbanging anymore because of his surgery a few years back, but he's been concentrating on his voice. And when they played Angel of Death, the first scream that he does in the song sounded pretty much exact to the record, which was awesome. Which, I mean, it's been almost 30 years since Rain and Blood came out, which is insane. Like, in 3 years from now, it'll be 30 years since that album came out, and it's still relevant to this day, in my opinion. All in all, this was a fucking amazing tour to see. I feel bad for anyone that missed this tour, because last night was the last night of the tour, so I'm sorry that I told you the set list and expecting to go, because the tour's over. But hopefully Slayer comes back through the States again, and I will definitely try to see them the next time they do come through the States. This was a very awesome tour. I highly suggest you guys go see any of the bands I mentioned in this video whenever you get the chance. Other than that, I'm just going to conclude this video. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. I'll see you all later. Peace out and keep it metal.